the traffic, the regulation of the traffic, coming up with the regulation of the Traffic Act to introduce appropriate action against road offenses. Honorable Speaker, looking at Sukuta Salaji junction, main junction, commonly known as Sukuta traffic light. Honorable Speaker, we all realize that this road or junction is a junction where it makes people delay from work or on their daily businesses as well. Because I think this can simply be regularized. Yes, there is a construction, there is fully beautiful road constructed with regards to the OIC project. That's very, very good. But then in addition, Honorable Speaker, deterring people from, going to work is also a challenge. So what I am also advising the line ministry and of course, Mr. President, with regards to his SONA, is that let them try to consider having like what we commonly call it as flyover, because traffic congestion is a challenge, definitely is a challenge. It's a big challenge. And when coming to work and then after work, when going home, sometimes you will leave office, let's say by 4 o'clock. You won't arrive home, let's say by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then you expect that person to come to work the following day. This is a challenge. So I am advising the president, of course, with regards to his SONA, in connection to his line ministry to make sure that they try to see how best they can reduce or ease the traffic offense as alluded in his SONA. And Honorable Speaker, with the national security as well. National security, Honorable Speaker, meanwhile, the president says, meanwhile, they have a plan to, plans are on the way to install CCTV systems along the YSC highway and other strategic locations. Yes, it is very important to have CCTV camera systems everywhere in the country. But then before having a CCTV camera, yes, it's a protecting mechanism to make sure that we enhance our security system. That's very important as well. But I don't think it wouldn't be bad, it would be bad as well, enhancing the ability or the materials or the security system with our very brothers and sisters who station in various places just to secure we, the citizens of this country, including the president himself. Honorable Speaker, when we have CCTV cameras, that's fine. CCTV cameras can be positioned on highways, just to help the traffic or other systems that might not be very, very convenient to the people with regards to the security as well. But then giving them the weapons that they, because when you have the CCTV camera and when they don't even have a sufficient vehicle to make sure that when a camera captures a crime and they need to follow that person urgently, when they don't have the means of, to access, the means of reaching out to that person or the criminal or the crime occurred at that moment, would it make any sense to have that CCTV camera? That's my opinion, Honorable Speaker. So I want the president to look into that properly and then, yes, continue having the CCTV camera, but in addition, making sure that our security are also fully weaponed in order to also help themselves in being attacked by the criminals as well. And Honorable Speaker, the Sukuta Salaji, when it comes to the security as well, and of course sorry, before coming to that, Honorable Speaker, I'll talk about the economy of the country. Of course, what we know about, the President have already talked about the Yoruba. Yes, in our local language, which is Mandinka, of course, we know Yoruba means way forward. Yes, in terms of economy, in terms of any other thing, but, we go forward. But then Yoruba, Honorable Speaker, I think this is completely far from the word, the actual meaning of Yoruba, when the prices of our commodities, essential commodities are hiking every day. Yes, you can have Yoruba in any sectors, but I don't think you will have fully full-fledged Eurua when the essential commodities of our country is hiking every day. You have Eurua in construction, fine. You have Eurua in other sectors. But when you don't have Eurua with regards to our food and food services of this country, Honorable Speaker, I cannot digest that you call it Eurua as a country. So I want the President to look into that properly. Thank you very much for having that idea too. So Eurua, yes, you can have it in a sector, but I would like the Honorable, His Excellency the President, to look into this properly, to fulfill the word Eurua in implementing it in also the food and food services or the essential commodities that are very, very expensive in the Gambia. And looking into that, Honorable Speaker, will have families who will stay without even have food because of the cost of a bag of rice, onions, oil, and others. And in fact, just yesterday, I realized that a kilo of meat has been increased to $200, to $400, $500 to $425. Where are we going as a country? Are we calling this Eurua? No, we're not calling this a way forward. We're calling this backward. So I want the President to look into this properly and the line ministry to see how best they can fully implement this word Eurua in this country. And of course, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, on page 16 with energy. Someone have already talked about, I know you're smart, but thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, someone have already talked about the energy system. Honorable Speaker, I laughed and I will continue laughing because the President in his SONA was still talking about the enhancement of the electricity system in this country. When for the fact that when the President was seated there, the light went off almost 4 to 5 times in this Parliament. Yes, 90% increment is very, very important. Yes, we need that, that's very good. But then when for the fact that you said as a President of the country that we are almost having a sufficient electricity system, when for the fact that as the President deliberating on your SONA that electricity or light went off almost 5 times, I want the President to look into this properly and then see how best he can remedy that situation. Instead of going further for 90, let us have sufficient electricity system for the people who are already supplied with regards to the electricity. Because even in Jabang here and Sukuta, there were days that, you know, light went off from morning and it didn't come till, from afternoon, and it didn't come till the following day afternoon. So that's serious. That's serious. And hospitals, without generators even, the electricity system is not enough for them. I know nothing is enough. But then I want the President to also look into that and then see how best he can stop at where it is as of now, improve that, and then go in for the 90% that he is yearning for. And the 18% employment opportunities as well, with regards to Minister of Trade and Employment. The employment opportunities as well. With regards to the employment opportunities, Honorable Speaker, I would like Your Excellency, the Vice President, to explain to this August Assembly what is the status of the youths who have been to the countries that you have collaborated to make sure that they have employment opportunities. The youths who have gone to, for example, Spain and of course Dubai, to make sure that they go for greener pasture with regards to employment. And our youths who are supposed to go there in order to fetch fruits or vegetables, and they will be paid $200 per month. As alluded by the minister when we had a committee session with him, that they are considering to increase this amount. And so I want to know that status, whether that amount has been considered to be increased, and then of course whether the first or second batch that have gone, is it actually that was where it stopped, Honorable Speaker. That is through the Honorable Minister of Your Excellency, the Vice President. And also on page 33, which is on employment and poverty reduction. Honorable Speaker, on page 33, the on employment and poverty reduction, Honorable Speaker. Yes, Honorable Speaker, this was alluded by the President of the Republic of the Gambia by saying equally important is our resolve to reduce the incidence of unemployment and poverty. Initiatives such as the recently launched Skills, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which is the SIE fund, with an initial allocation of $396 million. $396 million is the Women Enterprise Fund, the Gaiba Agriculture. Yes, the $396 million is. The figure might sound very high, yes. But think of the population, a population of 2.4 million, 396 with regards to reduction of employment and poverty. When you think of when you hear the amount of money, the figure, it sounds so huge. But when you think of the population, how much, I would like His Excellency, the Vice President, to also elaborate on that. How much out of this amount was given to each beneficiary? Because we would like to know. Because the amount, yes, it sounds good, but then how many people benefited out of this, and then how much did each benefit? Honorable Speaker, moving on to gender, children, and social welfare, of course. In the area of gender-based violence, child protection, and people living with disabilities continue to be the priority of the government, yes. It should be the priority of the government. This is what we expected from a good governance. But then, the word that is mentioned in the SONA, that is the people living with disabilities. Already, Assembly, why is the ministry having this challenge of implementing the Persons with Disability Act? Because having heard from the persons with disability, a lot of challenges, which if I want to dwell on, we'll spend almost the rest of the day here. But I would like the Vice President of the Republic of Gambia to tell us why are they having challenges of implementing the act, Honorable Speaker. And then moving on to page 34 on 158, because women's participation, as alluded by the President in the SONA, women's participation in economic activities is vital and for national development. My administration has expanded financial inclusion and access to resources for female entrepreneurs. Yes, Honorable Speaker, support to women entrepreneurs is very, very important. It's very good. I've been saying this, and I kept saying this, and I'll continue saying this. In some countries, women entrepreneurs are millionaires or multi-millionaires in some countries. And of course, I would love it when the country of this Gambia emulates such countries. But then our support to women entrepreneurs, as alluded by the President in SONA, Honorable Speaker, I would also like the Vice President to elaborate on that. What support are they talking particularly about this area that they have given to women entrepreneurs? And of course, I know there is Women Enterprise Fund. And Honorable Speaker, the Women Enterprise Fund that I've just talked about, having given 15.8 million to the women for support from the Women Enterprise Fund. Honorable Speaker, is a support, yes, nothing is small, but I expect the line ministry and the President to see how best they can improve, they can enhance, they can increase that amount of money. Because the amount 15.8 million, again, the amount seems huge, it sounds huge, but then how many people, how many women benefited out of the 15.8 million? And think of the population just alone in West Coast. How many women are in West Coast? Just give 15.8 million to West Coast, women of West Coast. And then when you divide it, how many women will benefit out of 15.8 million? And then out of the 58.8 million, how much will it benefit? And as I kept saying, you cannot give $100,000 to a group of women, 100 people, and then you expect them to be having more than $1,000, for example, and you expect all of them to have it equally. So when you give them 100,000 and a group of 1,000 people, and you expect them to be having 1,000 to enhance, to increase, to see what they can do with regards to entrepreneurship, with regards to the petty business that they'll be doing. Not even a serious groundnut that they'll be able to sell and generate something out of it. So I expect the line ministry and the president, as alluded by him in this, it's very beautiful to talk. It is very nice to talk. It is very nice to put things here so that Gambians will hear. But it is the responsibility lies on us, we the National Assembly members, to scrutinize this and then to make sure that Gambians knows the fact that the president is trying to talk about here, not only a nice talk. So this is what we are doing, and this is what lied on us. So as I said, let the ministry responsible, and of course the president, to look into this, to make sure that they will increase when they really mean supporting women entrepreneurs, when they really mean giving out the Women Enterprise Fund to support the little bit, the petty businesses of women, let them consider increasing the amount of money that we're giving women, because they cannot be given $1,000 and you ask them to prepare themselves in paying the money within 6 months and within 1 year, 6 months for preparation, and then another 6 months to settle out the bill at the end of the year. And then $1,000, of course, women, we are so generous in helping our husbands at home, of course, our families. So when we are giving $1,000, when my husband is at home without any dalasi for a fish money, what do you expect me to do as a woman? And you expect me to get something out of that 1,000 and then pay back the amount. Of course, I'll also tell the women who have benefited that the agreement was they are supposed to pay the money. Let us settle this bill. As alluded by the minister, some areas have settled, but some areas are yet to settle. So those who are yet to settle, I am also appealing to them that they settle, so that also can benefit with a little amount that was given as an enterprise fund, Women Enterprise Fund. So let the president look into this also to see how best they can augment that. And the Honorable Speaker, with the youths, between June and December, for example, the sum of between June and December on page 100 on the clause 159. Yes, between June and November, for example, the sum of 15 million. No, that was the group of this thing. But in general, anyway, Honorable Speaker, yes, that's the youth care, the youth welfare. Honorable Speaker, as alluded by the president in his SONA, that on page 37, 171, on entrepreneurship training and access to startup grants and loans for young people, NEDI has, over the past year, trained more than 1,000 young people, among whom are backward returnees. Some of the trainees were provided with grants to set up or scale up their businesses. Honorable Vice President, Your Excellency, I would like you to elaborate on this as well. How many youths benefited out of this? Because yes, 1,000 youths were trained, but according to the statement as presented by the president, that 1,000 youths benefited. But then in the statement, he said some of the trainees were provided with grants. So meaning not the whole 1,000 youths benefited this grant. So Your Excellency, your Vice President, Your Excellency, the Vice President, I would like you to explain to this August Assembly, out of this 1,000, how many youths benefited and how many youths benefited and how much per person was given. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, for shining mentoring. Honorable members, I have to make one thing very clear. There is nothing wrong with the draft constitution. It's with Parliament, and it's scheduled even for the second reading, is scheduled even during this current session. We are having it and it's going through the necessary process correctly. I now call upon the Honorable Member for Upper Fladu West.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I think, first of all, I have to thank His Excellency, President Adama Barrow, for fulfilling his constitutional mandate by appearing before the Parliament to address the nation. And then this is what we expect from him, and he has done it. And then this SONA is very, very important. The importance attached to SONA cannot be overemphasized. And then government, the way government operates, some of the achievements registered by the government and some of the challenges faced by the line ministries. So these were some of the things that were highlighted by the president during the SONA. Honorable Speaker, before I get into my deliberation, first of all, I want to make something very, very clear to Gambians, that Gambia is part of the global world. And then there is no country that has provided everything for her citizens. And there is no government, what the citizens want, government can provide everything for the citizens. The government have a role to play and the citizens have a role to play. And the government of the Gambia is not exceptional. And then looking at the economy of the country is very, very, very meager. But I believe Gambians, we have big heart. We want everything to be right. And we want the government of the Gambia to provide everything for us. And we fail to look at our economy, whereby we have a smaller economy. So to me, sometimes we just like blaming the government. And then we fail to look at the economy that we have. It's a tax-based economy. And then today, if government say we want to increase tax, the same people are going to complain. So first of all, I know the president have spoke on range of issues from youth, welfare and sports, land and regional administration, public service management, arts and culture, communication and digital economy, tourism, environment and climate change, fisheries, trade, industry, unemployment, economy, national security, legal and judicial matter, diplomacy and international cooperation, infrastructure and human capital development, health, education. So basically, these are some of the areas that the president highlighted during his SONA speech. But for me, I just want to be very, very precise, because I am very, very happy with what is happening in this country. And then it is a clear testimony that what the president has said in his speech, this is the true reflection of what is happening in this country. Sometimes when I see people complaining, I laugh. I said to myself, they don't know what is happening. If you don't know, you don't ask, you don't tour the length and the breadth of this country, definitely you will keep blaming the government, and you will not know what the government is doing. And I can tell you for free that government of the Gambia, if I am to rate them, I will give them 110% as far as development is concerned. So President Barrow and his lieutenants, I salute you once again for the good work that you have been doing in this country. For 50 years or more than 50 years, Gambians have been crying for development, infrastructural development. Road is part of it, health, education, all these sectors. You must develop the infrastructure. If you want to have a better education, you must have the infrastructure. If you have to have a better health system, you must have the infrastructure. Transportation, you must have the infrastructure. So basically, this is what the president and his government is doing. I think Gambians, we should applaud him for that. So President Barrow, we say thank you. And then the lieutenants surrounding the president, the good work that they are doing, and I applaud them. And I will urge them to still continue doing the good work that they are doing. Like looking at agriculture, for example, in his speech, the president have highlighted that margin grants were given to farmers. And this is something which has happened in this country. Last year, many farmers across the country benefited from this margin grant. and 28,000 metric tons of fertilizer was purchased and then sold to farmers at a reduced price from $2,500 to $1,150. So you can see how committed and how serious the government is. Buying a bag of fertilizer for $2,500 and sell it to farmers to $1,150. Gambia is the only country in the sub-region that I can tell you for free. Subsidization of fertilizer and fuel. Gambia is the only country doing it in the sub-region. So we thank the government of the Gambia for that subsidization. And then from there, government distributed 8,697 metric tons of fertilizers, over 1,000 metric tons of certified rice seed, 300 metric tons of certified maize seeds, and 140,000 liters of herbicide to farmers across the country for free. So all these things were done in order to empower our farmers. And then all these things were given to farmers for free. So I think we have to thank the government for doing the good job. And then this is what we expect from the government, that farmers have been crying for the past years that we don't have this, we don't have this. And then fertilizer, in March, the warehouse is full. As far as the government is concerned right now, there is abundance of fertilizer in this country. And then farmers are going to, get this fertilizer without facing any challenges. But I would also like to appeal to government that last year the price for fertilizer was $1,150. If government can bring the price down to $900 or $800, I'm just speaking on behalf of the poor farmers. We would definitely appreciate that from the government. And then I'm pretty much sure government will do that. And then still on agriculture, over 180 tractors that government bought. The reason why these tractors, government bought these tractors in order to strengthen agriculture. And then we all know, like, majority of Gambians will be complaining commodities of food prices are increasing on daily basis. It will continue to increase because all those food commodities, they are not produced in this country. They are coming from outside. So the only thing that government is doing is to invest on the social sector. And it's what the government is doing, to invest in agriculture. And then we have to understand that development is stage by stage. And then Gambia, Rome was not built in a day, and Gambia cannot be built in a day. Agriculture, you all see what government is doing within the agriculture sector. From small ruminant, as alluded my honorable brother for Same, if you go to YBK today, in my constituencies, I was very, very, very happy when I visited that site, the small ruminant enhancement project. If you go to that site, you can see over 10,000 sheep and over 5,000 goats. So this shows you that how committed our government is. So these are facts and these are realities on the ground. Maybe some of the people, they don't know that these things are happening or they haven't seen it. So that is why I urge all members of assembly to go around the length and the breadth of this country so that we can inform our people, so that we can tell them that no matter what happened, we have to tell our people, these are some of the things that the government of the Gambia is doing. If you come to energy, you all know what is happening in the energy sector. I think we have a focused president and a very, very, very hardworking and a committed minister as far as energy is concerned. In my constituency, I can just give you an example. When the president said 90% of the communities in the country will benefit electricity by the end of 2025. That is very, very true. Because if you go to Upper Fuladu, I have 135 communities. Only 6 communities have electricity, meaning 129 didn't have. But as we speak, the rural electrification is going on. Poles have been distributed all over. So I am sure in the next 6 or 8 weeks' time, the work in my area will be concluded. So I thank the President and the Minister of Energy for that foresight. Yes, some members complain that there are areas, some villages they don't have, but I want all members to understand it's a process. They will reach to your community. Of course, this government is only 7, 8 years in power. Other governments were here for almost 60 years. What this present government is doing, if I told that the past government did the same thing, electricity or road infrastructure will be thing of the past. So basically, the government of the Gambia is doing a lot as far as infrastructural development is concerned. Then from there, Honorable Speaker, I would like us to go to page, let's move to page 29. Page 29, infrastructure and human capital development. Well, in his speech, the President said, it is worth noting that 424 new schools have been built, accompanied by 6,400 new classrooms, those providing learning spaces to accommodate the increasing number of Gambian children. Consequently, our education sector has experienced significant advances, with gross enrollment rates rising to 102.8% at the lower basics level, 77.6% at the upper level, and 55.9% at the senior education level. So looking at this percentage shows you that our education system, I know we may have some challenges, but as far as the government is concerned, we are on track. Like if you go to Faraba Banta, whereby the university is, we all know that Faraba Banta have created that conducive learning, for our students. And how many students are on scholarship? Over 3,000 students are on scholarship, government scholarship. So this shows you that the government of the Gambia, they are very, very committed as far as education is concerned. And then Tibet learning centers have been built across the country. Maybe members may say my constituency we don't have, but we have almost 50-something constituencies. But looking at our economy, is government able to build Tibet centers, all constituencies? No, they cannot do it at once, but it has to be gradually. And then I am pretty much sure in the next 10 years, all constituencies will have Tibet learning centers. And this is what we have been crying. And then we have seen this, that the Ministry of Higher Education or Ministry of Education, this is what they are doing. Honorable Speaker, then from education, we move to health, page 31. If you move to page 31, you will definitely see what government is doing as far as health is concerned. I was a health personnel before coming to Parliament. I know how our health system was before and now. And then it's quite different, that a lot of health facilities have been built across the length and the breadth of this country. And then, just as the President said, public health facilities nationwide, including financial barriers to healthcare. Also, the construction of the National Emergency Treatment, Blood Transfusion, Diagnostic and Imaging Centers, as well as the Food and Drug Quality Control Laboratory around the Brusubi roundabout is nearing completion. So we all know before in this country, we don't have that lab whereby we can test our food. We don't have that emergency treatment center whereby when emergencies happen. But thank God to this government, these are things that are happening in this country and the process is going on. So you all know what has happened here last time when Aki happened. Children were affected. People were pointing finger on government. People were castigating, blaming the government, that government fails in their responsibility. Yes, we take blame as a government, but now this is what government is doing. I think it should be cherished by every Gambian. that when foods are brought into the country, they will be tested before we take them into our markets. When drugs are brought into the country, we have to test them. And then this is what government of the Gambia is doing. And then we definitely appreciate the work that they are doing. And also construction of health facilities across the country, and also distribution of ambulances, community ambulances. Before, over 80 ambulances were distributed, and just recently, last year, 32 ambulances were distributed to different health facilities. So these are some of the things that government is doing. And also the National Health Insurance Scheme. At least 13 health facilities, they have signed contract with 13 health facilities in order to reduce the burden on our poor people, especially the women and children, because health is very, very expensive. And then health cannot be politicized, because if you go to other parts of the world, health is very, very expensive. But here in the Gambia, people want to go to the health facilities free, and they get everything free. Where on earth can you go to a facility, you get all what you want for free? It's only in the Gambia that it is happening. So I think government of the Gambia is on track as far as our health system, is concerned. Now on national security, Honorable Speaker, on national security, some of the members have highlighted the issue of security. Security is very, very paramount to life. Without security, there cannot be any meaningful development. I think first of all, we have to thank our security personnel, men and women in uniform. We have to thank them for the good work that they are doing. America being the most secured country in the world, whether you know it, whether you see it, whether you hear it, every day someone is gone down. So security is very, very paramount. It cannot be left in the hands of government alone. Some of these things happening in our communities, in our localities, are caused by we the civilians. We will harbor criminals in our compounds. So when something happens, we point finger at government. So security is very, very, very important. Like Honorable Speaker, if you look at national security on 25, where it says progressive, the government is strengthening internal security, modernizing our national identity and management and national security infrastructure. The digitalization of our national document is in progress, and we will soon replace the consensus contract for the national ID card or ID system. 26 says the ID cards will be integrated with the electronic civil registration and vital statistics passports and other identification database to create a unified digital ID system that is locally designed, built, operated, and managed by our service. This initiative will expand our revenue base, improve national security, enhance services delivery, and ensure knowledge transfer and ownership. This is very, very important. But Honorable Speaker, I just want to advise government on one thing as far as this national security is concerned, especially on the ID card issue. On the ID card issue, to be quite honest, it has been a nightmare for some of the people, because I'm a living witness, because some of my relatives went to a particular place in Combo here to access ID card. When we went, all the processes were done. We were asked to return after 2 weeks to collect our ID card, but up to now, as we speak, more than 3 months, we could not get the ID card. So I think this is a challenge, and I think it should not be like that. The ID card, if you are to, to process your ID card, should not be more than 2 weeks. So I think this is a concern. So the reason why I brought it here, so that authorities concerned, the line ministry concerned, can pick up this, and then at least to see how best they can address this situation. And also, Honorable Speaker, in collaboration with the Ministry of Works, the Ministry of Interior is reviewing the Motor Traffic Act to introduce appropriate action against road offenses. Yes, we all know road accident is on the rise in this country, because sometimes accident could be caused in many ways. It could either be, most of these accidents, in fact, for me, I blame the drivers. You will be running, you will be using a car or a vehicle that you know the tires are already worn out, and you don't want to change those tires. And at the end of the day, accident will happen. It happened in my constituency just 3 or 4 days ago, whereby this one sprinter somersaulted in one of the community there, whereby some fatalities were recorded. So it was a very, very terrible scene. It happened around 9:40 p.m. at night. So I have to call Bansang Hospital for them to evacuate the ambulance to go to the scene, and Bansang police. So, and then most of these drivers, they are very, very young. So I think these are some of the issues that we need to look into. It's very, 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 very important. And also, I also want to talk on diplomacy and international cooperation, whereby the president have highlighted that the government of the Gambia is doing a lot as far as diplomacy and international cooperation is concerned. You all know, as he said, the Gambia international presence has magnified by the successful hosting of the 15th OIC Summit in 2024. The OIC Summit, I think it was historic. It was a summit that some of the people think Gambia cannot host the summit. Whether President A or President B comes or did not come, what is important is we, Gambia, we hosted the summit. And it was a great honor, it was a great summit, and definitely, and it was the first of its kind in this country. Furthermore, the country's eligibility for the UN Security General Peace Building Fund has been renewed for another 5 years. So this shows you that government of the Gambia, we are on track. If we are not on track, this thing will not be renewed. And in the same year, the Kingdom of Morocco opened an embassy in the country to strengthen bilateral relation and cooperation, while the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire established a honorary council here. Additionally, over 30 ambassadors and diplomats presented their credentials, signaling increased international interest in engaging with the Gambia. So I think we are on track as far as our diplomacy and international cooperation is concerned. Internationally, the Gambia has steadfast champions human rights and justice in the global stage. We all know what happened in Myanmar to the Rohingya Muslims. The Rohingya Muslims, they were massacred in a daylight. The government of this Gambia stood for the Rohingya Muslims at the International Criminal Court for Justice. So at the end of the day, we won that case on behalf of the Rohingya Muslims. So I think these are some of the things that government of the Gambia is doing. And on international, still on internationally, President Barrow spoke on the war in Iran, that both sides to restrain from the war, and then try to come to consensus so that there can be ceasefire between Iran and Israel. But it's very, very touching what is happening in the Middle East. Whether in Gaza, whether in Iran, you will see anti-ballistic missiles, Kalashnikovs flying on daily basis. Women and children have been massacred on daylight. So this is something that should be condemned by all. We should condemn it in totality, that what is happening to people, especially women and children in the Middle East. I think the United Nations, they should do all that they can in order to bring peace in the Middle East. So, Honorable Speaker, I don't want to take much of our time, as far as I have highlighted on most of the important things. Before I take my seat, I would like to thank the President for his foresight, and also thanking the Vice President who is here. On behalf of the President, and also thanking all the cabinet ministers present here, that the work that they are doing, Gambians are seeing, that them keep the good work that they are doing. If I close my eyes and you want me to see something, will I see it? I will never see it. But those whose eyes are open, we are seeing what government of the Gambia is doing. We say thank you, President Barrow, and then thank you, government of the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, thank you once again for giving me the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu West. Honorable members, as the train moves, we have 2 days of debate. That's today and tomorrow. I don't know whether some members may not want to take part in the debate. And if we are to continue at this rate, it may mean that we may have tomorrow out. We may be able to finish today. And in the circumstance, that's why I ask, because the office of the clerk will want to know so that the necessary logistical preparations can be done, if that be. Honorable, please allow me to learn. That's why I'm putting it. I'm not saying let's shout at each other. I am putting it to you people, and then I will allow you to comment. So as I said, the trend of it, we will have to go on until 6 o'clock today. At this rate, with these names, we may finish before that time, or just about that time. So why I'm putting the question is, are we going to, is it going to be possible for us to finish today? And if that is so, there may be some logistical support needed. So that's what I'm posing to you people. Yes, Honorable Member for.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, that's noted. If the list continue as you said it, the members that raise the attack are not many. It's good we finish it. Yes, because the list, you get the list down there. And again, those people who want to participate, this is why they raise the attack. So if necessary, you can finish it, let's do it.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think I will give my support to the Honorable Member for Lower Saloon. If you have the list that is going to be exhausted today, I don't think it's necessary for us to proceed till tomorrow.
I have almost done half of the list today.
Yes.
Just now, up to now.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, if that continues, it means we may finish today.
Yes, that's okay.
And if we are to finish today, or it's going to be a little late, it means you need some logistical support. We cannot wait until then and ask the clerk otherwise. Or you agree that at a certain time we will move to suspend the assembly, to adjourn the assembly till tomorrow. All these things are possible. So that's why I'm putting it to you to allow the office of the clerk to do the necessary, the needful. Yes, Honorable Woolley is. Same?
No, I'm not in agreement. Honorable Speaker, the two committees that we have given permission to. We've given permission to two committees to go and meet, and there are people who also want to contribute. And we did that because.
Please allow somebody to say what he wants to say.
Yes.
You cannot impose on somebody.
Because we did that. Some of us agreed to that because with consideration that it is 2 days, and they will also have opportunity to speak tomorrow. That's why we have given them that permission. But now, if we finish today and they are working there, they'll not be able to get their contribution. Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, when the minority also came to me to seek for my approval for him to raise a motion, this is what I told him. What I just told you is what I told him. I told him, if you go at that time and the assembly ends today, it means they will not have an opportunity to debate. I said to him, if you ask them and they want to debate, I can give them preference before the 1 o'clock deadline, if I know, so that they will do their debate. So that by the time they have their meeting, those who wanted to debate will have done so. That's what I told him. I had no feedback from that. What I will assume is, those who want to go, probably, even if they don't debate, it doesn't matter to them. That's my understanding. That's my understanding. He has not told me that, but this is what I told him, and I had no feedback. Yes, Honorable Member for Lower Salem.
Speaker, what we have approved by your submission in that motion is that 1 o'clock. But before 1 o'clock, they all left to do the work. Means this is parliamentary work. So if they thought that this decision was good for them, they could have attended this session until we finish. Then tomorrow they can do it. But for now, they are due on parliamentary works. So we are also doing our parliamentary works. Go by the list. If it's finished, we go.
You wait until last moment, and this thing happens, and we cannot give you support. So now you have an option. You have the right to say, when we finish the list, or the list is coming to an end towards 6 o'clock, for instance, we will complete and then we will put tomorrow away. Or even if the list is going to get finished, if we go until 3, 4, and we see that a small bit is left, we will move a motion to adjourn until the following day, and then we continue with those who have not. You have those options. It's yours. But that would inform the office of the clerk to do the needful. So the ball is in your court. Yes, Honorable Member for Sami.
Thank you very much.
Then Central Body.
Honorable Speaker, I also want to say the same thing. In the events that if we don't finish and these people are from the committee meeting and they wanted to participate and we don't finish, I think we will give them time.
Tell us something. We have two options.
Huh? We give them chance. Honorable Speaker, if we finish and they are not here, fine, we can close. But if we don't finish and they are here, they should take part.
I don't know who said you are. I don't know. You are not with us, because nobody is agreeing that. Nobody is saying that. All what we are saying is these two options. Yes, the Central Body Book.
Honorable Speaker, I think Honorable Speaker at this right moment inform the clerk to provide us with logistics. We are going to work to finish. We work to finish.
Honorable members, I also observe one thing. We have got the president has read his speech to us, everything, and each of us have his speech. People who want us to read us through the speech again, you can make reference to the speech, but to read 1, 2, 3 paragraphs for us again and only say it's very good or it's not good. No. I think we should. That is depletion. Definitely, you can make reference, but the reference should be relevant to back up what you have said, or to argue what you have said. But just to read and then say is what he said and do that. We have read it. We have got copies. If you say paragraph 118, we all can make reference to it. You can read some of it, but to read everything for us, no, please, let's avoid that as much as possible. So, honorable members, so we will sit to finish. At the right time, we will do the needful. Honorable, I now invite the honorable member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me also join my colleagues to thank the President for fulfilling the mandate, the constitutional mandate. We would have preferred him to come earlier in the year so that we'll be able to move together. If we know the policies and programs, we'll all be in the same page. But all the same, coming this time too, in the mid-year, will still accord us time to continue with our scrutiny. Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that the President comes here to give us their part of the story, and it is our responsibility to scrutinize what has been brought to us. We are here to scrutinize. If you do a job, you will want somebody to tell you what can improve the job, not to tell you it is nice, 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 even though sometimes it is nice. Honorable Speaker, we continue in point 14. Yes, the President called for peace and expressed grave concern over Israel-Iran crisis, conflict, and called for restraint, which is very good diplomatic language. But we are dealing with a country that does not care about diplomacy, does not care about international law, does not care about international norms. Israel listens to only one country, that is the United States of America. And even sometimes it does not. Listen to the United States of America. So Israel has a nuclear weapon. Iran is in the NPT, the Non-Proliferation Treaty, but Israel is not. But Israel decides to take action against Iran to destroy their civilian nuclear program. So that needs to be condemned. It is condemnable. I know in diplomacy, countries like Gambia don't want to condemn, but these are condemnable acts, and they require condemnation. Honorable Speaker, when we go to the legal achievements, it is good to know that we have done some achievements in terms of the laws that we enact. But we need to concentrate on the pressing issues in that particular area. The area that is pressing, Honorable Speaker, is that the judiciary has a lot of backlog of cases, thousands of cases, especially if it comes to land. We have a lot of cases lingering in courts, as if there is no judiciary in the country. And when we raised the issue with the minister here, he gave us only probable causes of why cases are that slow in the courts. But we need to really tackle the issue of cases that are lingering in courts. We cannot leave it like that. Honorable Speaker, if you go to mile 2, you go to just 1, you have hundreds of young people in those prisons. In mile 2, in fact, it's double. The number of people that should be there is double. And these are mainly young people. And many of them also are in remand. Their cases are not moving, and they are rotting in jail. So this is a serious matter which we need to look at to see how best we can address the issue, because we cannot continue to have these issues with us and pretend that we don't have them. Honorable Speaker, like I said, the prison is a colonial institution. And when they were building this institution, they built it with the colonial mind, that is to punish those who have fallen foul with the law. That was the objective when they were building those prisons. The buildings there are not human rights friendly at all. So we need to really, I would have thought that the president would have touched that area to build a new prison. I know the process is on, but to mention it will show us that how serious the government is in building a new prison from this swamp to somewhere better. I know if the UPR, this was mentioned there, how stingy our prisons are, how unfriendly our prisons are. Maybe the president may not be re-elected, the way he was re-elected. So we should not ignore these issues. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the judiciary also, you have thousands of land cases. Almost 80% of the cases in prison, in courts, are land issues. So what I've read from the statement is an understatement. I believe that we need a comprehensive review of the land issue in the Gambia. It cannot just be cosmetic. We need to really look at it to ensure that it is addressed once and for all. Because people are fighting. Wherever you go, one land is sold to 3 people, to 4 people. And whoever goes there the next time also, the alkali will stamp. The alkali does not have any capacity to visit this land to know whether the land this other person wants to sell is really his land or is not his land, or whether it has been sold before or not. The alkalis just put stamps there, and they get little remuneration they want to get from the one who is selling the land. So because of that, you have a lot of swindlers, people who will just get up and get to an open land and tell you, this is my land. And because people are desperate to get land, they fall into the trap, and they go to the alkali, and the alkali just put a stamp. And therefore, these 3 people or 4 people who are, all claiming for the same plot of land will continue to fight in courts, will continue to fight everywhere. And then the person who swindled them, that person will just go and lie down and enjoy the loot. So we need to really take this matter very seriously to ensure that it is addressed. Honorable Speaker, if we move on, we will see that, let me see. Yes, the President spoke very well about this land issue, the national land policy on the West Africa Coastal Project. Yes, I only hope that the review or the reform does not end at the coastal area, but that it goes throughout the country, because the crisis is all over the country now. The crisis all over the country. People are continuously fighting. Honorable Speaker, we are told by the President that there is a remarkable transformation of our armed and security forces, which is being recognized. I think I wouldn't completely agree with that. I think there is some improvement, but there is a lot to be admired. That they proudly exhibit a respectable degree of professionalism and preparedness to safeguard our independence. Honorable Speaker, let's dilute it a little bit because we are in a region, and that region is bedeviled with crisis. And if we are that perfect, we are that remarkable, we would not need the services of the 𝐓𝐇𝐄. 𝐓𝐶omec is just here for some time, but it's now graduating to 10 years almost. So it is not as palatable as the president put it. I think there is a lot to be desired. And there is a lot of improvement in the security and armed forces of this country. Honorable Speaker, the other observation I have is the sub-region is in crisis from Nigeria to Niger, to Burkina Faso, to Mali, and even Chad. These countries are in crisis because of terrorism. It is terrorists are, continually troubling these countries. And recently, Senegal had an agreement with Mali to be able to deal with the terrorist crisis. And therefore, this is as serious as it is. And we are in the center of Senegal, and we should be mindful and prepare ourselves for any eventuality. And I think if we are dealing with our security, we must always think about the terrorist issue. How are we prepared for eventualities? It needs to be known. Are we ready in case such a calamity befalls the Gambia as well? God forbid. Honorable Speaker, on the Yoruba front, development front plan, we are committed to enhancing the economy, yes. It is a good wish, what is being explained there. But what we need, Honorable Speaker, is to meet the needs of our people, to meet the needs of the present people without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. If we are just taking loans and we're spending all those loans and we are not investing those loans in the productive base of the economy, we are not preparing the future to be able to take care of themselves. But we are taking all these loans and we are pushing the loans, in fact, to the next generation. We are giving them more problems to be able to take care of themselves. That's why we must be very, very, very careful to ensure that whatever we do is also having in mind the future generation. To have a sustainable economy means that you will be able to withstand and recover the shocks, whatever shocks that come about. You can see that when the Ukraine crisis came, in fact, before the Ukraine, when COVID-19 came, we were in serious crisis. When Ukraine came, we said, well, we are in another crisis. So every time, even if there is a little disaster somewhere, we are in crisis. So we must be able to, ensure that the economy we are nurturing will have investment in the productive base, so that it will be able to create enough jobs for our people, so that we'll be able to manage our economy and manage our system better. For example, the member was talking about Farato, building magnificent hospital there, yes? But I think we are in a haste. We should wait until the hospital is built. We see the equipment that are being put there. We look at the personnel that are running those places. Then we can come here and say, well, yes, we are satisfied. Building monuments and running them are completely different things. Honorable Speaker, on the point 43, which is dealing with inflation. Yes, inflation in data, in my view, is different from the inflation on the ground. Somebody mentioned it and somebody is saying, well, the ground is okay, but it is not. Right now, bread is increased to 12 or will be increased to 12. In fact, it's increased to $12. It's Monday. It's increased to 12 by Monday. Yes. So from $8 to $12. From $10 to $12. Yes. And then if you look at the essential commodities, Honorable Speaker, you will see that the Honorable Member was mentioning 500 for cement, which is an essential commodity because the whole country is building with cement. So therefore, sugar, rice. If you look at the inflation rate that is mentioned by the president, which is from 17 point to 10.2, and then you go into the market, you know that the inflation rate is around there 50%, I can say. Some things are double, some are triple. So we cannot claim that inflation is going down. In their books, nominal inflation, it could be down, but when you go to the market, we all know it is not going down, it's going up. And it's going up very drastically. So we have to really look at it and see to address it realistically, not to romanticize it as if nothing is happening. You will not be able to address an issue when you romanticize an issue which is a grave one. Honorable Speaker, when you come to point 49, point 49 is talking about GDP ratio, that it has declined from 71.8% to, yes, from 75.7% in 2023 to 71.8%. And what the minister or what the president said here is that it looks like he's looking forward to reducing it to 70%. And it feels that that is the threshold. But Honorable Speaker, the general threshold is not 70. For you to be able to manage your debt properly, your GDP ratio to your debt should be 60%. 60% is the best. Is the best. So we should aim for what is best and not what is just cosmetic. Honorable Speaker, if we look at 69, page 69, page 16.69, which state that a subsidy program has been introduced that could cost electricity from 8,500 to 500. It's very commendable. But we need a clarification there. How is this subsidy brought? Is it part of the package, the project package? Or is it the government is actually going to pay this after the project is launched? That needs to be clear. Can the Honorable Minister explain more about this program? Is it, like I said, if you sell meter to the people at 500, but the meter is costing 8,500, and if it is a loan, because I believe this project is a loan, the people are going to pay it back anyway. So it's like you are just, all you are doing is you are giving me on the right hand, 500, making it easy. But when it comes to paying the real loan, when it comes to your time, you can explain that. Are you the minister? So it means that the country will, however, anyway, pay 8,500. And we are making it 500 for our people at a start, which is okay. But when it comes to general payment, in our budget, it will feature there that we'll have to pay this loan. So I need that clarification from the Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, the explanation on the petroleum exploration was good clarification. And there is a lot of speculation across the country and even outside the country that oil is found. Oil is found. Can you just shut up and listen? So if you look at the situation, Honorable Speaker, you will see that there is a lot of clarification that needs to be done to this August Assembly. Because some are saying oil has been found and is being exploited through Senegal. And that even political leaders in this country, including the president, all have their share. These are grave allegations that needs to be clarified. So I will want the Honorable Minister to really go through and inform us properly so that we'll be able to send this information onward to the people. Honorable Speaker, if you look at point 88, which is on page 20, it says the figures speak very well. 8,697 metric tons of fertilizer to Gambian farmers. You know, I keep on questioning these things. It is half-baked information. If we say 8,697 metric tons of fertilizer has been distributed to farmers, how many farmers? You have 1 million farmers, or you may have 1.2 million farmers. So how many farmers actually benefit from this number of fertilizers? I know that a lot of our people in the provinces, we go into Senegal to get fertilizer. If there is sufficient fertilizer in the Gambia and it's that cheap, we would buy it in the Gambia. But we need to interrogate these things and ensure that the figures are really. Honorable Speaker, if you look at also, you say 8,000, yes, for example, 1,000 tons of seeds is distributed to farmers. 300 metric tons of maize seeds, 300 metric tons. This report came here last year. I debunked it. It came here again this year. It's like every year we keep on having the same reports. 300 tons of maize seeds given to farmers. How many farmers? 300 tons across the country. 140,000 liters of herbicides. Liter of herbicide is not worth mentioning. If we give 140,000 liters to 140,000 farmers, you have just given them one liter each. 1 liter cannot even take care of a hectare. So it's not mentioning, I don't think they should feed the president to come and mention those things to us. Honorable Speaker, you know, how do you call him? Nyamina, you have already spoken, and I was listening to you very well. So you just listen. Honorable Speaker, 80 tractors is commendable, because I know there are other programs that are also bringing tractors, which means that this is a good policy. But what I want to know is the policy. What is the policy? Because the document should also deal with policy. What is the policy on these 180 tractors? How do the farmers acquire or access these tractors? How are they going to be managed? We need to know all this. So I believe the agriculture minister should help us to explain this, because my farmers, my constituency is asking how they will be able to access these tractors. So we need clarification on that. Yes. I think, Honorable Speaker, I am close to my, yes. On that note, I thank the Vice President and ministers here present, and thank all the members for their listening ears. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Woolly East. Honorable members, I think some members were just sitting down waiting, I think, I don't know, they want to come last, I don't know what. By this announcement, we have more names coming. And I will call them first. Those whose names are just coming, I will call them now. Before I do that, we will do that after we come from lunch. I now call upon the Honorable Member for Jara West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, let me use this opportunity to thank the President for fulfilling his constitutional mandate. I come in once in a year to address the nation. I also want to use this opportunity to thank the Vice President and the Cabinet Ministers who are here. Honorable Speaker, without wasting more time, I want to start with transport and infrastructure development. Honorable Speaker, I have gone over all the address of the President, even though I will not debate on all of the sectors. But what I read in the statement of the President, it is what have reflected on the ground on what I saw. Because if you look at transport and infrastructure, roads are constructed, I can say, throughout the country. I have seen major road developments around the urban area and the rural area. Honorable Speaker, if you go to my area, this time around I used the opportunity when I went for the Tabaski feast to at least travel from my constituency to use the new Kabada route to go and visit some of my family members and friends in the Kiangs. Although not yet completed, but people are excited, people are happy because they have access to good road to move from one place to another without any hindrance. We have to applaud the government on that. I will only appeal to the ministry responsible and the National Road Authority to always put proper monitoring. I saw them these days countrywide going around to see the roads, which is very important. But I observed something and then I put that to their attention. Some of these contractors, you have particular areas where they should put culvert, but for them they will only put iris crossing. We need to be very mindful on that because we are investing a lot of money. Road construction is not cheap. So if we are constructing roads, we need to follow the contractor not to do only what is best for him or what is easy for him. There are places that I observe there should be culverts, but I'm seeing for them the contractor is just putting on iris crossing there. I put the attention to the minister and then they responded positively that they are working with them to address that matter. Honorable Speaker, the President's statement talks about also public transport, which is very important. We commend the government for that. But also, as I always say, we also need to change our attitudes. And also, as a sector or a ministry, let's not leave the transport system to behave anyhow they want. There are sectors that represent a particular society or a particular section of the people. When you go around or when you come into work, you see people standing looking for vehicles to get to their work, or when you close, you see people standing looking for vehicles to get to their homes. But sometimes you sympathize them because some drivers from Westfield to like Tabokoto, they will have 3 to 4 stops, charging the same fare that should be paid from Westfield to Tabokoto, but they will tell you Talinding, from Talinding they will tell you Cow Johnson, from there they will tell you Tabokoto. So these things need to be looked at. And these things should be addressed by the ministry or by regulations so that people can move, because we have roads now. If you go out from around the Tabokotos, going to the Senegambia, you can use so many roads now that are accessible. If you want to go to Senegambia area, you have so many roads to use. So if roads are there, also vehicles owners should also do the needful. So that one, I want the sector ministry to look at that. People suffer in those things, and then we have good roads. Again, still on the transport and infrastructure, we have seen the concession contract with Albarak. To me, this is a very good move. When the Alport Banjul took over the ports, or the concession agreement, we have seen some vessels where vessels used to have 1 month waiting to offload or to discharge. But when Alport took over, there was a time I saw that all vessels have offloaded and they were discharged, they left. And then these are the things that we are losing so many things from this before. Because most people were using Senegal to bring in goods. Because when they come to our own ports, the vessels, before they offload or they discharge, they spend so many time here, which is expensive for them. So they just prefer stopping at Senegal, which was also affecting our economy. So this is why I said this is a very good move. And then, as the president stated, they are also coming to build another one in Sanyang, which will also expand our economy. These are things that are very, very important. And on the decentralizing, the program for decentralizing, like the building of a governor's residence in LRR, this is very important because when you go to the residence there, the size is very small, and the building there also, it should be upgraded to standard. So building a new one there, that is welcoming. But from there, I want to go to the Ministry of Energy. Electricity, we need it for national development, for economic growth, industrialization, and modernization. So electricity is very, very important. And we want to commend the government and the Ministry of Energy for saying 90% of the Gambia will be electrified. It says the solar power or the renewable energy, that is the 23 megawatts in Jambu. They are expecting another 50 megawatts in Jarasoma. I think these are steps in the right direction because when we are transforming to renewable energy, it's very important. When you have solar for the source of energy, it's very important. I only want to use this opportunity. I've seen the expansion project. The contractor is, as I said, monitoring is important. The contractor is going to some villages, but the way some poles are distributed or expanded, that we still have some gaps. And I don't know why when you call the regional representative for NAWEC in the LRR, they will tell you this is under the project. They have no say about this. So I think they have to work hand in glove to see that what needed to be done is done how it should be done to the people. Like I said, expansion has started in villages that were electrified. So they were extending some poles to the compounds that were outskirts of the village. And I also want to use this opportunity to ask the minister. I sent a parliamentary question the last time about some of the villages that are not electrified, and I was told June they were awarding the contract. Bidding process was going on, and contracts will be awarded. But the expansion project, this new project are there, but the villages that were not electrified are not yet touched. So I don't know whether it's the same project that will electrify those villages. Honorable Speaker, on the Trans-Gambia corridor, special economic zone, this is very important. The Trans-Gambia special economic zone, this project, when achieved, it will reduce the rural-urban migration. So government should look into this very well. It is stated here, but they should look for options for these things to start as soon as we want it, because this is important. The Trans-Gambia corridor, we have seen now from Jarasoma towards Farafenni. A lot of development is going there. So the special economic zone will boost our economy as a country. Honorable Speaker, I want to go to agriculture. Agriculture, we have seen in this President's statement the procurement of 180 tractors and 20 rotavator boats. This is important as us as farmers, because people want to farm, but they have limited resources to farm on the actual land size that they want to farm. But the moment these tractors are here, if they are distributed or acquired by the people, it will really help them. Under the issue of the fertilizer, in my area, when the fertilizer is distributed, our farmers show their appreciation and they were happy, because most of these lands now, if you don't have fertilizer, if you don't mind, you will not harvest as expected. Honorable Speaker, on the tourism. Tourism is very important because of the contribution it brings to our economy. But as tourism also, we should also think of regional tourism. And for the tourism sector to market what we have as a country, our unique culture should be marketed so as to attract regional tourism. Honorable Speaker, land and regional administration. Honorable Speaker, we have these real estate agents It's good that government is coming up with a bill or with regulations to regulate these land issues. As previous speaker said, you go to some alcalos, they will give you a stamp and a transfer of a land, and I go and buy the same land again. I'm giving approval or a stamp or alcalo transfer, one compound to 4 or 5 people, and this sometimes bring in conflicts that are not are difficult to mitigate. So we see these real estate agents also. You go to these courts, you have so many cases that concerns about these real estate agents, because they will have a place and say, this is my place, they market it, sell it to people. At the end, you will not have your land. You will not be with your money, and you will not have your land. So this thing, they should speed up and expedite this to come, so that these real estate agents can be regulated. I've seen so many cases in court, and these are serious issues. I've even discussed with some people trying to calm them down. They are telling me that this guy, wherever I see him, I will kill him. I said, don't take the law in your hand. The matter is in court, wait for the court to address. He said, but I'm going there, they are just adjourning. I'm with no money, I'm with no land, which is very, very painful. So people these are all attitudes that we need to change as citizens of a country. But people just do whatever they want to their fellow citizens, which is very, very bad. The public service management also, the introduction of the electronic registration. I commend the ministry also for coming up with that audit. We have people, this all comes back to our attitude. People receiving salaries without doing the job. You are paid, you receive the salary, others are working, receiving the same salary with you. It's very, very unfair, like the Jolas. It's very unfair. So I commend the ministry for that audit, and then it will give us a very efficient and effective system. This is commendable. If you check also the Ministry of Fisheries, let me just close down. It says the Ministry of Fisheries also, we have seen how much they generated, almost 142 million, and then they are expecting an additional 88 million. This is good. And then the government is saying they will come and then, change some regulations. I believe with this achievement and with the intention of bringing new regulations to regulate the fishing sector, we have the River Gambia. These are our own, gift from God. If utilized well, we will manage and then enjoy as a country. So I commend the minister for that. Honorable Speaker, on that note, without taking more time, I want to submit here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Jara West. Honorable members, it's almost going 14:30. We will have a short break to do our prayers and have lunch and come back. I don't know what time. It's almost going 2:30. When should we be back? Majority Leader? Huh? What time?
We can come back at 3,
Pardon?
3:15, 45-minute break. 45
3:15.
minutes enough, 3:15.
Yes, minority side. Deputy minority Fanantije. Chief Whip, Minority Chief Whip.
Yes, I'm suggesting we make it 1 hour so that we can pray and have our lunch. So that exactly 3:30 we are here to start the business.
You have two figures now. 45 minutes from now or 1 hour from now? 1 hour. Yeah, honorable members, I want to add this before I adjourn, before I suspend the session. When we say 1 hour, you come here at that time, members will be around, but they will not come into chambers. And then you will be there, we will be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So at sharp 15:30, I'll come in. If we cannot get the quorum, we will suspend, I will adjourn to another day. Okay, the House is now suspended until 15:30.